everyone, welcome back to 30 Days of Preparedness, a collaboration where several of us YouTubers have gotten together because of our good friend Michelle over at Big Valley Living. She'll have a playlist where all of you can check out all the 30 Days of Preparedness videos. But today is my second video in this series of No Fear Fridays, where we're learning to prep without the fear. Today's audio is bringing you a much better result. I found my microphone and we're in the house and hopefully things will be quiet. I cannot promise the dogs aren't going to start barking or the baby won't start crying, but that's life, y'all. Today we're diving into a key topic: shelf-stable food. These are items that you can rely on when the power goes out, roads are shut, or stores are closed. Let's talk about what to store, how long it should last, how to start building your emergency pantry without breaking the bank. Canned foods are the backbone of any pantry. They are fully cooked, they last for years, and they don't need any refrigeration. Whether you're an avid canner like I am, or you're just beginning, think about the things that you would like to have in an emergency situation. So when I think of my pantry, I do all sorts of canning: fruits, vegetables, and meat. There are rules to home canning that you have to follow. So make sure that you remember, like last week, we talked about have that canning book on how to safely can, because things like pasta and dairy cannot be canned safely at home. Now, many of us who are beginners are a little nervous about doing it, and we start with things like jams and jellies, or maybe even fruits, things that we can water bath can. But when you start getting into vegetables and proteins, that's when you'll need to use a pressure cooker. So if you're like I was when I first started stocking my shelves and learning to can, I was super nervous about pressure canning. Literally, my friend and I, you know who you are, hid behind her kitchen counter while we waited for it to come up to pressure, and we anxiously waited for the time. I mean, it was so nerve-wracking and so scary. But now it's old hat and it's no big deal for me at all. But I want to tell you about this company, Keystone Meats. I've gotten a couple of different shipments from them, and I will tell you, they have very tasty products. The meat is really, really good, and it is all trusted products. They're right here in the US, in Ohio actually, and you can contact them. I'll have all the information below. And I wanted to tell you about them just because this is a company that I trust and I would suggest to any of you. You can actually find their foods online, but you can find them at stores like Walmart. So they're locally, so you can find them at your local stores too. I'm going to have some information about that company down below because they are also doing a giveaway. It's not necessarily associated with this collaboration, but I wanted all of you to know about that so that you could go in. And so down below, I will have a link for their giveaway that they're having. And speaking of giveaways, Michelle just announced on her last video the grand prize for this collaboration. She's going to give away one of those fancy radios. Wow. What a lucky winner one of you will be. And don't forget, last week I talked about a book that I'm giving away. There may be a few more items as the month progresses, so make sure that you're watching every video out there. There's a playlist over on Michelle's channel, and I'll try to link it down below here too. But follow the hashtag 30 Days of Preparedness. Here's a pro tip for you. When you are, maybe you want to get a basket for an emergency situation, don't forget you're going to need a manual can opener. So many of us have gotten so used to using so many electrical things that we forget about in an emergency situation. Are you going to be able to open this? Not without a handheld manual can opener. And same thing with your jars. Do you know how to safely open your jars without breaking the glass? So those are things to think about. They're great because they're compact, versatile, and budget friendly. Rice, pasta, oats. How about lentils and dry beans for extra protein? I've really started to learn to love lentils and beans as I have aged and my palate has changed. It's amazing. Beans, and especially lentils, are an excellent source of fiber and a lot of protein can be added to really stretch a meal, even if it's not an emergency situation and you're wanting to work with your budget too. When stored properly, they can last for years. I have a video, I'll try again to remember to post it somewhere, on how I like to store my beans. I will actually vacuum seal them, and then I put them in 5-gallon with gamma lid buckets. Make sure that you are using it and rotating it though, because this stuff does go bad. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about some shelf stable, what I would consider dry goods. Eggs and milk. Yes, you absolutely can buy them from the store. They are at Walmart. They are at any grocery store. You can almost always find dried milk. Eggs, I'm not sure if it's quite as easy to find as it is for the milk, but they are out there. I myself have a freeze dryer. So anything that I cannot safely can, that's when I start getting my freeze dryer out. That is why I bought it, so that I could have eggs and milk. Because those of you who've been around my channel for a while, hey, thanks for doing that. I appreciate each and every one of you. And if you're new here, join the Farm Wife fam and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I do have my own eggs and my own milk because I have goats and I have Jersey cows and I have several different kinds of poultry, and I wanted a way to safely preserve them. I wasn't impressed with dehydrating, and so a freeze dryer was the way to go for me. Speaking of dehydrating, I do still have certain things that I like to dehydrate, like grapes. I like them much better dehydrated into raisins than I do the freeze dryer. How about ready to eat items? Have you ever thought about that? Well, I need to get shopping because I was going to show you, but we're out of beef jerky. I think my husband ate the last of the granola bars today, and trail mixes are really good to have on hand. How about things like peanut butter? You can take a spoonful and have protein, or if you have bread on hand, make yourself a sandwich. But don't forget things like crackers. For if you have an upset stomach, my mom would always make crackers and tea. And so I always think about beverages to have in my longer term storage too. And having things like bottled water is really important. And don't forget about your pets too. Statistically, you're supposed to have 1 gallon of water per person per day. No cooking, no problem. Granola bars and ready to eat packs, ready to go meals are a really good idea. Some people like to have MREs where all you have to do is add boiling water and you would have a shelf stable meal. That's another thing I like to do with my freeze dryer. With my leftovers, I can turn those into MREs. You know, emergency food does not have to be bland or boring. Your rice and beans, you can really make them much more palatable if you have things on hand like seasonings, salt, pepper, vinegar, oil. I like to have a full stocked pantry of anything for baking. So I've got my baking sodas, I've got my yeast, I've got my flours, I've got my sugars, and you can whip up just about anything. Remember back a few years when everybody was making the soda bread? It's amazing when you put your mind to it. And if you have those books to refer back to, what you can actually make at home. You know, comfort foods can really boost morale in times of stress or need, whether it be an emergency because of job loss or health or natural weather disasters. Having the foods that you're used to eating can really help you get through these hard times. And guys, don't forget about special needs. Do you have a child or a grandchild? Are they on formula? Are they on any kind of special formula? I think we learned our lesson from years back when the shelves were empty and we couldn't get our hands on formula. Do you know what you would do in that situation? Do you know how to substitute out your child or grandchild's or cousins or neighbor's formula for something different? These are things to think about. Emergencies aren't a one-size-fits-all situation. Some of you may have beloved pets, and you want to make sure that you're storing up food for them also. But if you're someone like me who's a farmer, the 1 gallon rule per person or per pet is not going to be near enough. A cow will drink at least 5 gallons of water every single day. So that's a lot of water to think about if you have an entire herd. What about your chickens? Can they live on what you have stored for them? Do you have enough feed to get through a winter storm? As a final wrap up for today's video, I hope that some of these things have given you some ideas of things to start working on in your pantry, to start thinking about an emergency situation or even a non-emergent situation. Maybe you're thinking, holidays are coming up soon. What can I do now to start planning for a time when I'm not going to have as much money, or I need that money to stretch further? If you have a garden and you've been saving up your harvest and you've been canning, you know that that is going to help you, and you won't have to go to the store and buy fresh fruits and vegetables if you already have some canned. And maybe you're thinking about getting yourself a freeze dryer or a dehydrator. Be watching to see if you can find a special sale. And if you just don't have the energy, time, or desire to do any of that, think about companies that you've heard of that you know that would have the products that you need to get you through, and start building that pantry shelf. So next time you're at the store, maybe go ahead and grab yourself a bottle of water and a box of crackers just to get a start, because we all start from somewhere. And today is the day that I encourage you to start working on your pantry. Do you already have a pantry? What things did I not talk about that you think are important? We need to get a conversation started down below. I want to get a community here talking about all the different dried goods, canned goods, ready-to-eat meals, and other things that you think of when you think of your pantry. What did I not touch base on? What did I not talk about? We need to talk about that so that all of you can share your ideas, because what you store in your pantry is going to be different than what I store in mine. Guys, it was so great to have you here again today. I can't wait to see you next week for our Fearless Friday series. Bye for now, friends. Oh no, I knew I was forgetting something. Seeds. I want you all to be thinking about seeds, because seeds is part of your pantry. Yes, it is. We need to be thinking about next year's gardening season now. All the seeds are going to be going on sale. Gather them up, put them in your refrigerator or your freezer, depending on what kind of seeds you have. Save seeds from your garden that you have growing right now, and be prepared to fill your pantry next year. Seeds.